It's good to see you playing well with others again.
Just like a bat. I dig it.
Maybe temporary.
Yeah!
Well, that looks awful. I'm gonna tweet about it, so everyone knows my opinion. Hey, stop! No, don't do this! Yeah, no! Ah! Oh, I gotta see it now. Ugh. Ugh, gross. Oh, so I just saw the Justice League, and it sucked. Who could have seen this coming? Justice League is about a bunch of heroes that have to fight a bad guy and each other for some reason, because it wouldn't be a superhero movie without the heroes fighting amongst each other for no reason. But I was not looking forward to this movie. I really did not want to see it, and I was not going to see it until I got it for free. And then I was like, yeah, why not? And it sucked.
Yeah!
We have to be ready. You, me, the others. There's an attack coming from far away.
Not coming, Bruce.
And despite me despising a lot of this movie, there is a silver lining to this drab nightmare. But before I get into that, I want to establish a little context to this movie because I feel like it is important, and because it's literally the only thing that got me through this movie without wanting to freaking hang myself. And that context is the behind the scenes, all the nonsense that happened behind the scenes. And there's a few things. One, obviously Zack Snyder had to walk away from the project for family issues. And Joss Whedon was brought on to finish the movie and reshoot some of the movie. Number two, Warner Brothers issued a mandate that the movie could not be over 2 hours long, which is very weird. And number three, it's very obvious that they wanted to get a Marvel tone. And that's it. That's the context going into this movie that is sort of the most interesting part of the movie. Like I said, there is a silver lining. And for one, the character Cyborg, I liked quite a bit, actually. And that's sort of the biggest surprise of this movie for me, is that I actually liked one of the new characters, because there's like 4 of them. You have the Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and then the new villain Steppenwolf, all being introduced into this movie. Another thing that works for this movie is the action sequences. When the action sequences are going off, I was able to sort of sit back and enjoy the movie without being bogged down in all the details or all the convoluted plotting. And I actually enjoyed a lot of the action in this movie. It's fairly well shot and fairly well choreographed and fun and kind of gritty. Like, people are getting smashed into brick walls and having pipes thrown on their face, and people are getting like punched through the earth. And yeah, you know, it's definitely excessive and over the top, but why not? It's kind of fun. Superheroes punching each other through walls it's entertaining to me. Don't ask me why, but I just find it entertaining. And that's it. That's all I liked about this movie. There is not much to like.
Where are they?
Arthur Curry, the Aquaman. It's on him.
Organic and biomechatronic body parts. He's a cyborg.
You should probably move. Barry Allen.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me.
This movie is absolutely despicable and embarrassing for the most part. I think aside from Cyborg, literally every character in this movie is awful. Just awful. I mean, I'm okay with the villain because of how simple his motivation is. All he wants to do is just destroy. That's his whole purpose, is I just want to kill everything and destroy everything. And there's no other motivations, there's no convoluted backstory, it's just that's it for him. He wants to blow things up and kill people. So that I'm okay with, but every single other character is awful. Wonder Woman is basically taken from what she was in Wonder Woman and then like deconstructed back to what she was in Batman vs. Superman, which was just sort of a pretty face that sort of does things occasionally. And the Flash spews one-liners like hot garbage out of his mouth that are so obnoxiously obvious that it's hard to take any of them seriously. It's hard to view them as jokes without thinking, oh, the studio decided that this would be a good spot to have a joke to bring some levity. Aquaman is like, they try so hard to make you think he's cool that it just becomes incredibly uncool. Like how he walks in slow motion towards the ocean as waves splash on him with a rock song going on in the background. Like, that is so dated and uncool that I just hated him. So who do you root for? Nobody. There's nobody to root for in this movie, and that's especially bad when every single main character is not a main character. There are no main characters here. Every single superhero takes a back seat to each other, and nobody becomes the main character. Literally, the first 30 minutes of this movie is just saying, this is where this character is, 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 one after the other, without any connection or any flow. And then it just sort of like cuts between them, and then, oh, now we're going, now the plot's going, now we can move on from this. It's so bad.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
It has to.
And not only that, but like I said earlier, it's so clear that this movie was longer. It's so clear that this movie was shot by two people because it is a tonal catastrophe. This movie has no idea what it wants to be. And this is really the only thing that got me through the movie. I mean, the movie's a disaster. I'll just say that. Like, if I didn't know the behind-the-scenes stuff, this would have been miserable. But watching and trying to find where Zack Snyder's vision started and stopped and Joss Whedon picked up was the most entertaining part of this movie because, again, it's so obvious where one starts and the other stops, and the other starts and the other stops, and whatever, vice versa. There's actually scenes that seem to be shot by both directors in reverse shot, where Zack Snyder shoots one character, and it's a super close-up, and it's really desaturated and grainy, and it will cut to the reverse shot, and it'll be slightly wider, a little bit more colorful, and very clean. There won't be any grain in the shot. And like, you can point to those scenes and say, that's Snyder, oh, and that's Whedon. Oh, and this is Whedon, oh, and there's Snyder. And the weirdest part is that it's, in the first 5 minutes, it credits Zack Snyder as a film by Zack Snyder, but it's pretty obvious that he only directed like 20%, if not less, of this movie. And I haven't even talked about the actual story here, because there isn't one. There is literally no story to this movie. The story is just that the Justice League have to stop Steppenwolf from destroying the Earth. That's it. And all this tinkering makes actual films with narratives into products. And that's what Justice League feels like. It feels like a studio product. And I despise it. I think I will give it a 2 or a 3 out of 10. It's just the worst. It's just terrible. Don't see it?
Shall we?
It's good to see you playing well with others again. Just like a bat. I dig it.
Maybe temporary.
No, what are you doing? Don't, no, not this again, please. No, not another Disney movie. I'm begging you. Anything but, oh. At least it's not for another month. I can live with that.